Hello, this is Mr. Berkman, and I want to share with you some information about the ERB scores, which should help in your interpretation of the scores. For students in grades 4 through 8, this is the document you should have received. In the first column, you will see the major categories the ERB measures: the verbal reasoning and the quantitative reasoning. Those sections are the ones that measure aptitude, or what your child understands. And the sections that follow each of those are the ones that measure achievement, or what your child has learned. Those would be vocabulary, reading comprehension, writing mechanics, and math 1 and 2. The next column are the scaled scores. This is an area that we look at to measure individual growth. Each year, we look for an improvement of 3 points in the scaled score. Be sure to keep these documents so that you can compare one year to the next. The 3 categories that follow describe national norms, suburban public school norms, and independent school norms. The national norms represent all schools that took the test, with some extrapolation from suburban norms. This is the largest norming group and will have the highest percentiles. These suburban norms are taken from select public schools. This is the second largest group and more selective than the national norming group. The independent school norms are from independent schools only, and they are the smallest and most select group. As you can see, even with the same scaled score, the verbal reasoning score for this student was in the 90th percentile in the national norms, 72nd percentile in the suburban group, and at the 64th percentile in the independent school group. Please note the 2 columns for each norming group. The first number represents a percentile rank. A score in the 90th percentile means that your child scored as well as or better than 90% of the students in the norming group. It is not a straight percentage. The next number in each of the groups is the STAY9. A STAY9 stands for the standard 9, with 1 being the lowest and 9 being the highest. We consider a STAY9 of 1, 2, or 3 as slightly below average, a STAY9 of 4 through 6 as average, and 7 through 9 as above average. Here again, you will notice a STAY9 of 8 in the national norm may translate to a STAY9 of only 6 in the independent school group. This is because of the size and the competitiveness of the independent school norms. As an FYI, the high school SAT test only reports national norms. The next section of the parent report is a pictorial representation of your child's percentage of mastery in the given content areas. You will notice that the major categories are broken down further. For instance, vocabulary has 3 subcategories: word meaning, precision, and application. The brown line on the bar graph represents the average percent correct for the independent school norm group. The diamond represents your child's percent correct in that category. For example, this child mastered 82% of the material. In other words, got 82% of the questions correct in verbal reasoning. And the average for all independent school students was about 73%. For parents of students in grade 3, this is the document you should have received. Listed next to the word test, you see the major categories of the ERB test. Below that, you see areas where your child either exceeded expectations, met expectations, or are developing in those expectations. Percentiles are not provided on this document. It is in the developing section that your child could use some support or strengthening. I hope this video was helpful, and should you like to discuss your child's scores, please feel free to call me or Mrs. Dasheff in the middle division, me, Mrs. Miller, or Mrs. Salemi in the lower division. Thank you.